Confessions number 45, Bonothan. Bonothan was a big guy. He was just big. Big arms, big stomach, big head, big legs. Everything about Bonothan was big, but it didn't stop his need to speak to women, and he wasn't shy. Bonothan was, how can I say, he was willing to meet more than half of the way, and whatever it was that we chose to do, he would come through 100. The only problem was Bonothan was a habitual liar. Pathological liar, I must say. Bonothan had so much going on in the background of him till I was like, I don't even want to know anymore. I mean, I found out through my snooping days, detective days. I don't have a private investigator thingy for nothing, And Bonothan, all I need to know was a little information about him, and I was able to go in and find out a lot about Bonothan. Bonothan said that he originally was talking to a pastor's daughter, and that him and the daughter had split up, and so he came to the chat line to just get over that hurt and pain of that woman leaving him and of the pastor putting him out of the church. Now, first of all, he's coming in. This seems like some type of rebound mess anyway. And so I'm not really that interested, but I'm listening. He was such a habitual liar till he was saying he worked in medical offices in the 704, the 843, the 919 area codes, and come to find out, he said he had all this money that was put aside and that he was going to have this weight loss surgery. I mean, Bonothan had everything worked out, and it sounded really good. But there was a problem. When I did my investigative homework, Bonothan, I like saying that word, by the way, Bonothan. That's not really his name, but it's fitting. He really was still in the relationship with the woman who he said he wasn't in the relationship with. And the pastor did not kick him out of the church because he was actually married to the pastor's daughter. Do anybody else see what is it called? A pattern here. The pattern is these guys that go on this chat line, they go on this chat line very well knowing that they're already in a relationship and that they are married to someone. I'm sorry, y'all, about that. I had to take a call, but I'm back now, so if I kind of don't start back from where I was at, that's why. Okay, so Bonothan, come to find out, he had a wife, and his wife was the preacher's daughter. The preacher never kicked him out of the church. He left it. He made people think he was leaving church. He's not even out of the church, okay? He still goes to the same church to this day. He's still with the same woman to this day. And he just wanted to have that as a pity story. That's the only thing sometimes when you're dealing with people who have low self-esteem, they become these pathological liars. And I know y'all like, you want to talk. See, there's a difference between, I say, doing what I was doing and what they were doing. What I was doing was an intentional, conscious thing, but a pathological liar is not conscious to their lies. Okay? And so that's how he was, and it just got to a place like, I was like, dude, you are so full of it. But this guy, he came one day, and I did get to see him. He said, I'm in your area. And it just so happened my area was not really my area. But it was an area where I was at, and I had to sing that night. And when I got through singing, I had told him the church that I was at. When I got through singing, he showed up at that church. And he took me out to eat. We went to Waffle House. And then he had got a room. And we sat and talked for a long time. And then he pulled out this sleep apnea equipment, and I was like, what in the world is that? He said, I use oxygen therapy at night. And I was like, oh, okay. And me, not knowing what oxygen therapy was, but I fell asleep on the chair. He got to bed because he was a big dude. He was like 600 and some pounds. He was a big dude. He needed that chair. I was already 560, so two of us laying on the bed like walruses weren't gonna get it. I mean, just being visual here. Him laying there and me laying there, it was not enough room on that bed for the both of us. And by him having that machine, I was like, well, you need it more than me. And I slept on the chair. That morning when I woke up, Bonothan looked at me and said, do you know you have sleep apnea? And I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, you were snoring so loud. You were snoring and stopping breathing in your sleep. And I was like, won't you supposed to be asleep? And he said, no, I was watching you. Strange. Anyways, turns out Bonothan was right. I did have sleep apnea, and I did not find that out till 2015 that I had sleep apnea, and this happened in 2009. So he was right about that, and to this day I have my sleep apnea equipment, thanks to Bonothan, that I saw that he rested better, and now I'm resting better, right? But as far as if any woman in their mind thinks that a big man cannot pull women, you are absolutely kidding yourself, because these big guys, I think, cheat just as equally as the skinny guys or the good-looking guys, whatever type of guy you want to name and throw them out there. These big guys are killing the cheating game. They cheat, they have these lies lined up, and because they so big and cute, you don't want to believe that they'll tell you a lie. But these big dudes, don't feel sorry for these big dudes. Now, if you get caught slipping on a big dude, he gonna drag you. He gonna drag you down through that, and it's not gonna be the way you think. It's not always through the money. A big dude would drag you mentally. That's how they drag you. They love to play the mind games because they really are insecure about themselves, because they are already at a state where they have been chastised all their life. They've been gotten on to. Everybody they see has something to say about their weight, their size, So they got to go through it with doctors. They got to go through it with their parents. And they probably was bullied as they were growing up. And as a result of this, now their way of bullying back is through psychological manipulation and becoming these pathological liars. They will put their heir in somebody else's name if they could. Or they would put somebody else's heir in their name if they could. See, they'll sit back and they'll watch the life that they want to have, but won't go get it. But yet they'll come and prey on innocent women who really want to do right by them sometimes. But they feel like everybody is the same in their mind. I mean, that's just how some big dudes are. Some big dudes look at all women as the same. And that's not even as a woman. They look at that woman as an object, as something that they can play with, and just to make themselves feel big. And I think that's a lesson right there for women who are out here thinking that, hey, if I date this big guy, nobody's going to cheat on me. That's about as stupid as saying, get you an ugly man and nobody will want him. And then as soon as you get him, everybody wants him. Goodness gracious, yes. And that's how it is with a big guy. You get a big guy, All of a sudden, when they see what you got, they want them. But if that big guy ain't secure enough, he'll give himself away just because he's not secure with himself. So Bonothan, like I said, he had a wife, and he didn't have kids though, but he did have a wife, and he was part of this church. As a matter of fact, I think he was a preacher. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm close to thinking that he told me that he was a preacher or in training to be a preacher, and this so-called ex-girlfriend's father was supposed to be training him. He meant father-in-law. He just happened to lie and say girlfriend's daddy. But okay, we learned the difference now, okay? All right, so that was Bonothan. Got to do away with that.